Hey guys, what's up? Fly here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I've got a treat for y'all. So, a couple weeks ago, I was flown out to Sweden, more precisely Stockholm, and to the DICE Studios, where I was invited to play the beta of Battlefront 2. Just to be transparent, before we go any further, EA paid for the flight out there and for my lodging in Stockholm. Can I just say that Stockholm is awesome? I was only in the city for 30 hours. I was in and out. It was a very quick trip, but I did have time to get acquainted with the local bars. But seriously, the streets are clean, the people are nice, the architecture is beautiful, and their hamburgers are delicious. I know, I should have had meatballs, but we went out to eat at this burger place that I think tastes better than majority of burger joints in America. And I'm not talking about McDonald's and Burger King. I'm talking about legit burger places. So hats off, you Swedes. Well done. Delicious. And the aioli, that was good as well. But guys, today's video, we are going to be talking about my experience with Battlefront 2, what I liked, what I didn't like. And I'm happy to state that there is much more to like about this beta than not. And come to think about it, there's only one or two things that I did not like about this beta, and that is in the star battles and the way different fighters and different planes interact together. I will get more into this, but right now it's a little watered down and kind of frustrating. But also, this was my first time playing, so take it with a grain of salt. So the gameplay that you're watching right now is the game mode I think almost everybody is going to have their socks blown off. This game mode is called Galactic Assault. It is a 40-player mode, so if we do math, because math is fun, 20 on each side. And what that means is that the battlefield feels like a battlefield. There's always something happening, always something exploding, always a place to go defend and attack. If I had to relate this to a game mode that we have played in the past, it's kind of like Rush on steroids. So instead of just destroying a box or capping a point, there's different objectives for each stage in the map. So we're on Naboo right now, which is can I just say, dude, even in the first Battlefront, they had the sound design down and the graphics galore. And as you can see, Battlefront 2 does not fall short. So just a little context on how this map for Galactic Assault works. The Separatists are attacking and the clone troops are defending. So what will happen is that during the battle, there will be ion cannons that the clone troopers will have to grab and shoot the MTT, which is the multi-troop transport. And those ion cannons will damage it. So you can end the assault right then and there. If you're able to kill the MTT, the game is over. So the Separatists are going to have to try to hunt down the clone troops who have the ion cannons. And once the clone trooper has the ion, was I saying cannon? I meant launchers. Ion launchers. And once the clone trooper grabs one of those, they ping on the map. And if you're the Separatist, you're attacking, you want to keep your MTT alive. So you will go try to hunt them before they get the ion launcher on target and damage your transport vehicle. So let's say you're playing as the Separatists and you are attacking and you are successful at defending your MTT from the clone troopers' onslaught of ion launchers. Your MTT will move down the street ever so slowly and get to the main building and blow it up. And then you move on to the next portion of the map. It's progressive, change of scenery is nice, and then the change of gameplay is nice as well. When you first start off in Naboo or on Naboo, it's very open space, but as you move on to different portions of the battlefield, the meta changes, the gameplay changes, which is really, really entertaining. And one thing that I want to note right now, remember when I said that this was like Rush on steroids? Well, it might actually be Rush, but on bull steroids. Now, this information wasn't given to me directly by EA or DICE. This is from a third-party website, but each map has different objectives that you complete. How cool is that? So this game mode is going to stay very, very fresh. Now, sure, you will be replaying these game modes, but compared to a game such as Battlefield, where the maps are different, but the operation objectives are still the same, to cap a zone, this sounds much more entertaining. Now, there is a new mechanic in this beta that really takes the cake for me. Now, in Battlefront 1, the way you obtained heroes, the way you obtained a walker, ATST, a snow speeder, is that after a little bit of time, a hovering orb would pop out of the ground And if you were the first one there, you would be able to get in whatever that orb represented, that being hero, AT-AT, etc. This new mechanic is something that we are all too familiar with on this channel. If you do well in Galactic Conquest, you will be awarded battle points. Sounds familiar, right? And these battle points can be redeemed for better units, such as B-2 rocket droids, ATT, those are the separatist tanks, ATRT, which are the clone troopers, walkers. So you're rewarded for how well you do in the battle and not how well you can run to an orb hovering above the ground. Last but not least is that the battle points you earn in game keep stacking when you're using the basic unit, the one that you are given to at the beginning of the game. If you do choose to spend your battle points, let's say I go for a B-2 rocket droid, I earn no points when I'm in that droid. So the gameplay stays level, no one has too many points, and let's say he does really good with the hero, he won't get battle points and then spawn in another hero. So that's a really nice mechanic to keep the battlefield level all time. There's not too many crazy stuff walking around, flying around, constantly killing you, and while they're killing you, they're not obtaining more points to when you do finally kill them, they can spawn in a new one. Now on to the one or two things that I really did not enjoy about the beta. The first one is kind of a me problem, but I don't really understand why they did it. This is in space battles. So when you're trying to control a TIE fighter or X-Wing or any type of craft in the battlefield, you have your mouse. Now, this probably won't really affect people who will use gamepads for the consoles, but there's dead zone with your inputs. So if my mouse was in the center of my screen, right on my TIE fighter's pipper, I would have to move my mouse out of the dead zone and then push it even more to the left for my craft or the TIE fighter to go to the left. And the reason for that, and this is why it's a learning experience, it just doesn't make sense for me right now, but over time I will probably understand how to utilize this control system with the mouse. So the reason for this, let's just say we're in a TIE fighter, the guns follow the mouse. So for an example, there's an X-Wing off to our left a little bit. The idea of this mechanic is that you don't have to turn your TIE fighter onto the X-Wing 6. You can just kind of point the mouse over there a little bit and then the guns will follow so you don't have to maneuver. And this is really counterintuitive to me because if I'm in a craft that has three-dimensional space and I put an input in it to go behind someone's 6, but it's just my guns, there's a lot of over-maneuvering and not enough fine-tuning with the flight models. But there were players at the beta event who were absolutely wrecking with the mouse input. So it just goes to show you this will be a learning experience for me, and I'm sure many other people. It's just difficult coming from a flight game to another flight game and trying to learn the mechanics of this new one. Now on to the more serious subject in the space battle mode, is that once somebody got on your 6, there weren't many things you could do to get them off your 6. Now, a few times I was able to use the map scenery, such as the asteroids, ship debris, ships, to break line of sight and try to disengage that way. That did work. But if I was cut out in the open, not many things I could do. I could keep turning with them, and then keep turning with them, and then keep turning with them. It would just go around and around and around. So one person would have to be like, all right, screw it, disengage somehow. And the person who said screw it was more likely to get killed because now he's in firing position on your 6. Now, after this beta event, they asked for some feedback, what could change, what could they do to make the game mode better, and I proposed them to kind of stock the plane with some pre-programmed maneuvers and also G-lock. So if you're abusing your pilot with these hard G turns, you will start to lose consciousness and not be able to maintain the turn. And the person who's able to manage their pilot better and their craft better will still have control over their X-Wing or TIE fighter and will be able to get on target. And so with this implementation, I don't think they're going to do this, but they might. I relayed this feedback to one or two head honchos, and they gave me, you know, a nod, like, yeah, that's a good idea. So we might see something like that, but if we don't, I just think the star mode is going to be lackluster because it's going to have no depth or meta in it. It's just going to be who can get on who's 6 first, which maybe that's how they want it to be, but I don't think that's a good way to go. If that's how it goes, I know I will not be playing this mode too much. So guys, hope you have enjoyed my reflections on the short time I had to play Star Wars Battlefront 2 in Stockholm. Galactic Assault. Whoa! We went back to the old school Battlefront 2. But Galactic Assault is looking very, very well done. The mix of different objectives for different maps and different objectives during the same maps, and with the battle point system, it's going to be really entertaining. Now, guys, just FYI, the beta is starting on October 4th for players who have pre-ordered this, and that is on PC, Xbox, and PS4. And then the second wave, October 6th, will start for everybody to participate, even if you have not pre-ordered it. So, the rest of this video will be my amazing gameplay on Naboo playing Galactic Assault. Hope you guys have enjoyed this segment of the video and enjoyed the rest.
Landing incursion complete. Wave 2 units commence assault and activate escort programs. Eliminate all troops encountered. Multi-troop transport must arrive at the palace gates intact. Thwart clone ion disruptor attacks.
Grenade armed. Acquiring target. I'm on point. Follow me. Wipe out the clouds! Targeting grenade! Target locked. Grenade armed. I'm on point. Follow me. Systems damage to the MTT.
Our forces have reached the first waypoint. Continue the escort.
B2 unit online. squad.
B1 unit activated. Clones are firing on the transport.
Increase protective measures.
All units, charge. Grenade prime.
MTT has reached waypoint 2. Further attacks must be intercepted.
Roger, roger. Target acquired. MTT taking damage. Republic has damaged the MTT. Scanning. Hostile. MTT under fire. Lots of damage. Roger, roger. Forming squad. New enemy. Threat level maximum. Target grenade. Hunter program loaded. Ion blast penetrating the transport.
MTT targeting weapons.
Roger, roger.
B2 unit deploying.
Online.
Forming squad. Enemy engaging.
The MTT is in position. Clear the area of clone resistance and prepare for Phase 2. The Palace throne room has been sealed. All units proceed inside and override the door control systems.
Hunter program loaded. Hostile grenade calling AR. Rapid fire. Target acquired.
squad.
Squad assignment accepted.
Grenade deployed!
Pull down requires. An ally has arrived. Coordinate attacks. Grenade out. All units, charge! Target acquired. Roger, roger. I'm ready to go. Overriding the East Station. Grenade out. Deactivated. Roger, roger. Hunter program loaded. Behind you.
Recalculating. Recalculating. All units initiate self-destruct. Your mission is a failure.